it is. I echo what Marion said. It is really, really, really good to see you. And we've been busy. We've been hustling, and I want to pause us for just a moment and really ground us in why we are here. Reverend Holston reminded us about the violence, but so I'm going to ask us to take a moment of silence for the lives lost. You might need a breath after a busy day. Take a breath. We've been moving. It's also very important, so let's just take a moment of silence. Thank you. And I also want to respect that you are all busy and you have other things to get on to, so I'm going to be very brief. I don't really have time to tell you what you already know, that this war is an imperialist, mistaken, hugely expensive, very dangerous, colonial, environmentally catastrophic boondoggle that ignored all the experts who said Iran has been preparing for this. I don't have time to tell you that this is a humanitarian crisis that makes U.S. citizens and all of those in the Middle East, including Palestine and Israel, much less safe. I don't have time to tell you that war is essentially hubris that leads to devaluating human lives. Lives of little girls in schools and soldiers in our military, young men and women who seem to be pawns in this war game. I don't have time to tell you that U.S. citizens have never been more united against a military action, but they are. Only 27% of U.S. citizens approve of the military action in Iran. I don't have time to tell you that Congress members have abdicated their responsibility, refusing to pass a war powers resolution and refusing to hold this administration accountable for an unjust, foolish escapade. And I certainly don't have time to remind you that the first 2 days of this action cost the U.S. taxpayer $5.6 billion, or that we are paying twice, with higher prices everywhere while paying for the war. I do have time to remind you that fascism gets a leg up sometimes, but it is never stronger than the power of the people who are determined to build a world that is built on equity and puts the needs of the people over desires of oligarchs and war barons. I do have time to remind you that it is our job to dismantle systems of oppression and domination and the belief that some people are better than other people. I do have time to say that we are dismantling patriarchies because women and children are the most vulnerable in war. And the way to create lasting peace is through justice, right? Just as he said, through justice, not through a board of peace that only has certain interests at the table. Yeah. We are solving our climate crisis, not letting our leaders get away with creating war. I'm here to say there will be one day put on trial for the black rain, the toxic smoke, the oil spills. That's right, if you can't get a certain image of the rightly named Secretary of War out of your brain, then envision him in a court of law being held accountable. We are organizing and learning about past efforts that stopped wars in the past and brought about nonviolent change, like the Pledge of Resistance that kept us out of a war in Nicaragua, or the women in white who brought down the dictator, Charles Taylor. We are remaking this world, being led by water protectors and Black Lives Matter leaders and ICE watchers and dock workers and flotillas and civil rights leaders of all stripes who remind us that we are mighty And we are going to build a beloved community. We are calling on our senators and telling them we don't want this war. We certainly don't want to pay for this war with our taxes or the lives of our young people, recruited and sent into harm's way. And by the way, senators, stop sending weapons to any country that violate human rights. Follow our own Leahy laws. I do have time to celebrate the community that is being built as we tear down the military and prison industrial complex. The community that fights the root causes of war, not just the symptoms. The community that says, hey, while we're setting up systems to monitor nuclear weapons over there, let's get busy and divest from nuclear weapons here in the good old US of A. The community that says, quit bombing their hospitals and quit shutting our hospitals. The community that says, rather than line the pockets of the weapon makers, let's take care of our schools and fund food stamps and Medicare for all. The community that says diplomacy is how we work together, not creating enemies by bombing schools and gyms full of children. My friends, we are the ones we are waiting for. We are the ones remaking our world. We are getting louder, and we're talking to our friends and neighbors who are worried and scared and very concerned about what happens next. You are the ones who tell them we are determined and we need you with us. We are building toward a general strike because stopping this war is our goal for today, but it is not our end goal. Our end goal is stopping all war and supporting all humans and creatures. Woo! No war! Not another penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for Pentagon slaughter. Not another penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for Pentagon slaughter. Not a penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for Pentagon slaughter. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The war machine has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. The war machine has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The war machine has got to go.
Ho, ho.
Ho, ho.
Yes, thank you, Tina.